So for question one, what I thought was most interesting was how the play is actually a musical, which is actually recorded. So I found the definition between television and musicals to be kind of blurred. For question two, the first value was this idea of heroism and who's actually heroic in the sing along blog. And Captain Hammer is the overt hero, but actually doesn't really save Penny when she's about to get hit by the van, even though Dr. Horrible does save her and has this heroic action, but doesn't get attributed to it, and he was the one that caused the van to start moving in the first place. I think the second value is this idea of love and how Captain Hammer was really faking this love for Penny just to spite Dr. Horrible and just because he really loves himself and likes to be loved, and how Dr. Horrible is actually unable to express this love to Penny that he feels for her. For question three, I actually looked up the production itself of the sing-along blog, and I found that it came out of this 2007-2008 Writers Guild of America strike and how television writers thought they weren't being paid enough for the work they were doing because all the money that television shows made would go straight to the big companies that had the copyrights for the television. So they were arguing for this greater increase of payment for writers in their work. And this sing-along blog came out of that strike, and it made absolutely no money until it came out on iTunes and DVD and started selling copies, and all the money went to the writers and the cast and the crew, as opposed to these big companies that are just keep making more and more money from their work. For question four, I thought the big diversity was this idea of good versus evil, and how neither character is fully good or evil when comparing Dr. Hammer and Dr. Horrible. But I guess the only really good character in the sing-along blog is Penny herself, because throughout the whole thing she's never displays a bad characteristic. For question five, I analyzed the song A Man's Gotta Do, and I think this song really moves the plot forward and really introduces the big kind of problem in the sing-along blog and how Penny falls in love with Captain Hammer, and it creates the main conflict between Dr. Horrible and Captain Hammer. For question six, my two questions are, do you really consider the sing-along blog to be a musical or just like a television show? And why? And what do you think would happen in the sequel since Penny dies at the end and Captain Hammer kind of has this big crisis?